Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Thursday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and I am sorry if I look dead tired to you folks here today. Got a little bit of dark spots under the eyes today. Might yawn a couple of times throughout this stream here. Got back home from the Pat McAfee big night at PPG Paints Arena at around 2:30 this morning. So up and at 'em early again. Lots of Pittsburgh sports news to talk about today. I will reminisce a little bit and talk about, what the experience was like there at the Pat McAfee big night out last night. I will also be coming out with a video later, maybe later this evening, maybe sometime tomorrow afternoon on some of the videos I took throughout the show. Had Jey Uso from WWE come down the steps right beside me and my father. Got to see Tone Diggs, AJ Hawk, and Darius Butler right over our left shoulders. Jelly Roll, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, Shane Gillis, a sumo match, just craziness all night long. And then the big finale, watching Ben Roethlisberger, Paul Skeens, and the Pittsburgh Penguins big three, Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, all come out on stage and win a gentleman some money. If you're new here, please like, share, and comment on this stream, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live. Also going to talk about some other things here today. Shedeur Sanders on the south side this afternoon to meet with the Steelers for a pre-draft visit. Some new news coming out on that. Some videos, one from Tom Pelissero on the Rich Eisen show today. I will need to watch after this stream is done so I don't get any copyright issues or whatnot. Also, I believe Shedeur spoke with Kay Adams from Up and Adams, a show that usually gets on, and players usually go on and get some juicy comments out of that. Going to read to you what all I have bookmarked here. Also going to talk about the TJ Watt situation. I'm sure we've all seen the picture that he put on his Instagram story last night. I saw that right before I walked into PPG Paints Arena. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. And lots of people are freaking out about that. Talk about the Pirates a little bit. They're off tonight. Talk about the Penguins as well. They are off tonight as also, and also going to hit on a certain member of the Penguins organization, some news that I'm sure all of you have unfortunately heard by now. So with that, I'm going to get my banners ready here. Start here in a minute. Did not have time to get these banners together before I went live. TJ Watt, cryptic message. Talk about some more news as well. Kind of all bouncing all around Pittsburgh sports today. Really was hoping that, hey, maybe today would be a little bit of a down day, getting home so late from the Pat McAfee show last night, but that will not be the case. Got some Pirates news as well we'll hit on. The Roberto Clemente signed back on the padding in right field. We all like to see, but looks like they are not going to get out of their sticky situation with the Bucco bricks. So talk to that here in a moment. Let's start here first. Actually, you know what? We're going to start here with the TJ Watt cryptic message. Let me fix that typo there. So we're going to start here with the TJ Watt cryptic message. So, I mean, like I just said, as I was on my way into Pat McAfee's big night last night, really getting ready for just, a stress-free, fun evening with my dad, and I looked down at my phone, and TJ Watt is all over my timeline, and I went to Instagram just to make sure it was real myself, and yep, TJ posted no caption, no message, no nothing, just a picture of him in his Steelers uniform. This is probably him, jogging off the field after a game. giving up the peace sign to the fans, and that is something that really set off a lot of alarms in a lot of people's heads. Now, we all know that TJ is heading into the final year of his current contract, and I think it's safe to say that we all know the Steelers want to keep him here. Well, at least Art Rooney II. He's seemingly hell-bent determined on making sure that Watt is a one-helmet guy for his entire career. However, Watt posting this may be a subtle sign that negotiations aren't off to a hot start, at least according to Ian Rappaport on Good Morning Football. We don't know what exactly Watt's motivation behind posting such a thing is, but one speculation that is floating out there right now is that maybe the Steelers not necessarily gave him a lowball offer, but made their offer less than what Myles Garrett is currently making in Cleveland. We all know that big $40 million per year extension that he signed. Oh, I want to go somewhere else there and win. Go somewhere else and win unless you give me a Brinks truck full of money, and that's what happened there. So now it's very easy to hear that and think that's the case. I honestly wouldn't think that TJ is the guy to, demand top dollar and ask, above his pay grade. I think he's been, paid very compensation wise well for what he's been, doing, what he's done here in Pittsburgh. And I don't think coming off of the year he just had, which by his standards was pretty bad. I think 11 and a half sacks he had. And, he had 2 games, I think, where he didn't record a single stat. So asking for a pay raise after that is pretty ludicrous to me. And over the past couple of years, we've seen NFL players use these cryptic messages to put out into the public their frustrations and possibly use such tactics as leverage in negotiations. We've seen this in the past before from George Pickens showing his frustrations. He's blacked out his Instagram profile before and removed all mentions of the Pittsburgh Steelers. One case that I don't think is necessarily this player looking for a new contract, more so him expressing his frustrations with the current team he's on, is Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. For the past week or so now, he's been posting on X every other day the emoji, him putting up the peace sign as well. So it's what makes it even more concerning, and it depends on how you interpret it, is that TJ has never done anything like this before. Seeing, we know his reputation and all that, he's a team first guy. It was very odd to see something like that from him, and I'm interested to hear what y'all think about it. I see 6 of you in here right now. If you would please go into the live chat, comment what you think on Watt posting that cryptic photo, sending a cryptic message. And it was very odd to see something like that. Do I think the Steelers are going to trade TJ? Most likely not. I'm sure he would fetch a hell of a trade market, especially from like a team that's on the fringe of being a legit Super Bowl contender. I think TJ could fetch a pretty penny, and I'm sure that, what was I gonna say here? The Steelers have been in the past been known to split with players a year early rather than a year late. They did it with Troy Polamalu, Hines Ward. They let James Harrison go play for, at that time, the arch rival New England Patriots. And they tried to do the same thing with Ben, if that rumor of them giving an offer less than Myles Garrett, which, it's up to you to consider if it's a low ball or not. They did that same thing with Ben Roethlisberger at the end of his career. They gave Ben a low ball offer, but that kind of blew up in their face. They knew he was over the hill, but he accepted it and came back for another 2-3 years after that. So, and, with all that said, I think an extension is going to get done. It's just a matter of when, not if. And I mean, here's the thing. Why would you consider bringing in Aaron Rodgers, which hey, I'm going to get to something that I just saw before I went live in a minute. Maybe this whole thing is because Watt doesn't want Rodgers to join Pittsburgh. If that's the case, I'm choosing Watt over Rodgers. If Watt, wants to leave, if Rodgers comes here, but if that's not the case, swapping out your best player on defense for a 42-year-old quarterback who's only going to be here for a year doesn't make any sense at all. And probably what's most got me most confident that a deal is going to get done is that on the record, Watt has said that he wants to be here and win in Pittsburgh. He likes the tradition and, the city and the fan base and all that. So he said he wants to win in Pittsburgh here, get over that hump of losing in the first round of the playoffs. And the head of the ship, well, at least, overall and not in the football sense, Art Rooney II, he's been on the record as well saying that he wants TJ to be here for his entire career. So let's just wait and see, because this might be another situation where this carries all the way up into we're midway through Latrobe and Watt comes out of nowhere, signs an extension there at St. Vincent, and this whole thing gets put to bed. And as a matter of the figures of the deal, I'm sticking by my prediction before saying that Watt's deal would probably come in less than Myles Garrett, but I'm sure well over Max Crosby in Vegas. So if you guys have any thoughts on TJ Watt's message or thoughts, questions, put them in the comment section now. I would appreciate it very, very much. In the meantime, I forgot to do this. Let me get this stream posted on X. Okay, there we go. I'll post it up. So I think next we're going to move on to Shedeur Sanders and his visit today. So a lot of ears were on the Steelers facility on the south side today because Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders was there. As I was walking out of the Pat McAfee live show last night, I saw the picture of him at Pittsburgh International Airport. So you knew that was going to be today. Reports of it happening today were true. Haven't seen a whole lot related to his visit today. I am going to bring up what I just saw before I went live. So first and foremost, coming on here in about 45 minutes, I got NFL Network on right beside me. Shedeur Sanders live from Pittsburgh Airport will be on the Insiders with Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero at 7 p.m. So when that comes on over here, I will definitely, pop my ear out, take a listen into that if I can. But Tom Pelissero filled in for Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen show today, and this is Andrew Filipponi reposting this video. So I haven't seen these two videos yet, but I'll take them for, what they're worth being posted. Pelissero made it sound apparently like Watt is not a fan of Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh. That's going back to the TJ Watt thing. But as for the Shedeur Sanders thing, Shedeur was on Up and Adams, like I just said, and some nuggets from that, according to Nick Farabaugh, said that Shedeur compared Mike Tomlin's coaching style to that of his dad at Colorado, Deion Sanders. He has no issue sitting behind Aaron Rodgers if those two things were to align, him becoming a Steeler and Rodgers signing, saying if that's the way it plays out, that's how it plays out. And last thing, we all know that Shedeur has some moxie to him, and he said that it's up to other teams to, quote, not make the mistake of letting him go to Pittsburgh. So, like seeing that from like seeing that from Shedeur there. We know he's a charismatic character. So besides those two things, haven't heard a lot from that meeting today. As much as I'm starting to like the idea of the Steelers taking Shedeur at 21, I think as of right now, there's no chance that he falls past the Saints at number 9. And even if that does happen, by hook or by crook, I think one team, whether it be the Giants or Browns, is going to trade back into the first round ahead of the Steelers and take him before pick 21. So, and, besides, even though I'm lost in the sauce a little bit about, Sanders possibly being the next franchise quarterback and a young guy like him sitting behind and learning from Aaron Rodgers for a year, it would probably be for the best to just wait another year and pick up Drew Aller or Arch Manning if he declares in 2026 in your own city. Also, for those Pitt fanatics out there, safety Donovan McMillan from Pittsburgh was in the Steelers facility today for a local visit. I believe that's 5 local visits now, 4 or 5 local visits now, in addition, to the other top 30 visits. So probably you're looking at a late day 3 pick for McMillan if he's there. Maybe he's got some special teams potential and he can be your 4th safety back there with Minka and Deshaun Elliott and Juan Thornhill. I also want to hit on a couple of other visits that happened yesterday as well when I was not on last night. 3 more prospects. They were on the south side. Those were defensive tackle from Oregon, Derek Harmon, UNC running back Omarion Hampton, and Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon. That right there is probably my favorite trio of visits in the same day that I've seen thus far. Saving my in-depth analysis on those 3 for draft night, which I hope you guys join me back here for that. I'll be live for night 1 and night 2 of the draft, at least, maybe day 3, who knows. But saving my in-depth analysis on them. Harmon, he's a walking, living, breathing tank, and he got same measures and looks like a young Cam Hayward. So what better idea than to put a guy who's like Cam Hayward to learn from Cam Hayward. Omarion Hampton, one hell of a running back. I believe he's being comped to another Pittsburgh running back from the past in Rashard Mendenhall. And I think Hampton, any other year, he's the number 1 running back in the draft without a shadow of a doubt. This year, he's just being overshadowed and possibly overlooked because you got Ashton Genty. And I like Ollie Gordon's size, but you just hope with him that you're getting the 2023 version of Ollie Gordon rather than the 2024 version. Lastly, 2 new visits were scheduled today with the Steelers in the past 24 hours. Another running back, RJ Harvey from UCF. Don't really remember too much of the work I did on him. You're probably looking at him as a late day 2, early day 3 pick there. And another quarterback as well, Kyle McCord from Syracuse, also went to Ohio State. Probably the best passer of the football out of this draft. Really, old school gunslinger from the pocket, not really gonna move, gonna stay in the pocket till the very last second and make a throw from there. So I believe he also set the single season passing record in the ACC, if I remember that stat correctly. So same thing as Harvey. If you're interested in Kyle McCord, you're going to look at him late day 2, early day 3. So I believe that now takes the count on pre-draft visits for the Steelers up to around 25, if I'm correct. So the black and gold, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, they are going to need to choose very wisely who they bring in for meetings from now on. And I believe we're now 15 days out from the draft, 16 days out. So should be interesting time to see what else goes on in the league and with pre-draft visits between now and then. 5 of you in here. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Also, feel free to comment in the live section here, like the stream. Guess now's a good time as any. Talk about my experience last night at the Pat McAfee live show, Big Night Out. Great night. Went with my dad. We had a good time. Doors were actually delayed from opening by half an hour. Apparently, there was something going on with the show itself, so we had to wait for the doors to open an extra half an hour. It was really cold there. Not necessarily like the temperature, but the wind there was wicked outside the arena. Also, you had the complaints of some people around us needing to use the bathroom as soon as the doors opened, but went up, found our seats, had some good seats in section 102. Shout out to, I believe it's Cody Sable, who hand finger artist, did some paintings before the show, listened to some music. Show kicked off, national anthem. Pat came up from underneath the stage. A little bit of a slow start to the show, was talking about his childhood and all that, but then I think, he went a little bit too deep in talking about, the lawsuits that he's gone through over the past couple of years and all that. But then we had a nice kickoff to the show. Jelly Roll performing Renegade, also sang a couple of other songs as well. Just all around, just seems like a very lovable guy, Jelly Roll. So it was very fun seeing him. Brought out this Plinko machine. They called it the McMoney Maker or whatever the hell. So I believe 3 people won $100,000, and then you had a big grand prize winner of $2 million. I'll talk about that more in a second. Believe Pat was also talking about he couldn't have come back to Pittsburgh and not have done a Yeet session. Those of you who watch WWE, Jey Uso Yeet. Jey Uso did come out, came out right behind me and my father, walking down the steps beside us, got a high five from him. That was electric. Did a nice Yeet session with him. He also gave away some money, watched a sumo wrestling match. That was really the other part of the night that really dragged on. The sumo wrestling match. Got to see Toxic Table, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, Michael Cole as well, who was just absolutely hammered, just obliterated. You could see from where we were sitting, like the platform that he was coming up from the stage on, he climbed out of it early, just wanting to get out there, have some fun. They were talking about going to the Penguins and Pirates game from Tuesday, and on 3 different occasions, I believe I videoed 2 of them. On 3 separate occasions, you had Sell the Team chants when talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sell the team, Bob, your really crappy owner. We'll talk about the Pirates here in a second and just all the fantastic stuff that is going on off the field for them. So got a couple of Sell the Team chants. Really, they were much, much more louder than what may have come across on the live feed if you watched the show live on YouTube last night. So yeah, I got to do Sell the Team chants. But anyway, sumo match carried out long. I believe it was Ichi and Hiroki were the 2 fighters. They pump faked 15 different times each 3 rounds. Shane Gillis came out. He was hilarious as the special guest referee. Had to say some stuff in Japanese, and he just said F it and didn't really know what he was doing by the end of it. But believe you had the sumo wrestling match, and afterwards saw Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg perform. Also Ernest performed as well. That was electric. To see them. 2 Pittsburgh sports fans got to see AJ Hawk, Darius Butler, and Tone Diggs up over our left shoulder. They were in the suite, a section over from us, so we got a good view of them. Also, Parker McCullum sang. And then the big finale, what really made the night worth it, the late start and staying there till midnight. What really made it was the final showcase, possibly up to $3 million were on the line for someone. Big Ben Roethlisberger came out. He looks in phenomenal shape. Looks like he could still, if he wants to, put on the pads and go out there and go for, 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns if you really wanted to. Honestly, probably be my preference at this point. So got to see Big Ben. Paul Skeens then came out. A little bit of a controversy now because Andrew McCutchen just posted earlier this afternoon on his Instagram that he didn't get invited to the show. I'm sure that, I'm sure there was a lot going on for Pat and the boys getting this show set up, and I'm sure they'll make up for it having McCutchen on their show sometime soon. I don't think that's something that they're, just a minor oversight for them. I don't think that's something that they're going to just let slide like that. So Skeens came out, got probably pop of the night there. And then after that, the big three, the holy trinity of Penguins hockey, Malkin, Crosby, Letang, they all came out together. They got probably one of the top 5 loudest reactions of the night. It was good seeing them. They all got to throw 3 footballs through this hole up on stage. Skeens missed it twice, not giving him, too much of a hard time. You're a pitcher. You're meant to be throwing baseballs, and you're also, supposed to be throwing down off the pitcher's mound. Crosby steps up, just absolutely drills it through there. Dude I'm fairly confident if you were to give him like a month, 6 months, something like that to commit fully to a different sport, he could do it and do it to a very high level. And then Big Ben, like, he never even left, just perfect right through the middle of that target there. So, and then $2 million, the guy who won it, that Eagles fan who people absolutely booed the hell out of. There was one dude who walked across in front of us who walked out. He was just absolutely livid, but seemed like the Eagles guy was, nice, shocked by it, had a couple of friends there with him. But that happened, 10 rows down in the section next to our left. So it was fun seeing Skeens and Ben and the big three. Saw a video today of Skeens and Ben throwing backstage. So that's a cool moment there. And just looking at the pictures of those 5 gentlemen together, that is a bringing together a unity of Pittsburgh sports all in one place that we have not seen in a long time and would probably never ever see again. So just an absolute great night. Give it, solid 9.9 out of 10 for the evening overall. Great show, Pat and the boys. Can't wait to see what their reaction to it is on Monday, and I hope you all join me. First off, let me go to the comments here. Sup, I would have hate to been in that front row last night if those sumo guys landed on someone. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not sure how it looked on the stream, but I think, once each of them got to the edge, they like sort of gave up, just say, hey, please do not push me because I'm going to die and I'll probably taken out, 5 or 6 people with me. So definitely would not have wanted to have been in the front row either. It was also like kind of annoying, just like how much they pump faked it by like 15 times. Like, I think by the second round, like we were on the purple side, I would have just rather had our guy lost so that we could get the show rolling again, because you could tell people were getting kind of restless with it. But I hope you all check it out. Like I just said, either going to get it out later tonight or most likely early tomorrow. I did, the best I can videoing a bunch of the stuff from last night. I will post that, put it all together and post that. Hope you all enjoy it. Hope to get big views on it. So, yeah, good night. Got to high five and yeet Jey Uso with my dad. Got to see AJ Hawk, D-Butt, and Tone Diggs and Parker McCollum up right to our left. Great seats. Yeah, just great night, fun night. Would do it again, 10 out of 10. Gonna go through a quick stroll through Twitter here, see if anything new is happening. This is very interesting. So this was posted yesterday from the New York Giants. Are they putting out a poll? They have Shedeur, Sanders, and Abdul Carter. It says, make the case. If it's Sanders or Carter's, who are you taking? From the actual Giants page. Are they literally making their fans, influence their pick? If so, that is crazy work. Seeing a bunch of Shedeur Sanders stuff there, saying that, his meeting with the Steelers today was a 10, that he likes Mike Tomlin, similar coaching style to his dad, that he's okay sitting behind Aaron Rodgers if that's the case, and that it would be a mistake if teams let him fall to Pittsburgh. A lot of people excited about the idea of Shedeur Sanders being a Steeler. As much as I am starting to open up to that idea and liking it more and more as the days go on, I think it's a pipe dream. There's no way that the Saints don't take him at 9. There's no way that he falls much further than that, a team trading back up and whatnot. Yeah, pretty much all Shedeur Sanders. That is my timeline right now. So, yeah, I'd rather have Shedeur Sanders and forget Rodgers. At this point, yes, I agree. We cannot go, Rodgers, we knew before heading into big night at last night that he wasn't going to be there. Pat said he wasn't there. I'm sure some sort of paparazzi would have gotten a picture of him at Pittsburgh International, kind of like they did Wiz Khalifa. I knew Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and Jelly Roll were going to be there before anyone else, really, just reading off of Twitter. Also, there was rumor that Shabuzi was going to be there, but that did not turn out to be the case. But yeah, at this point, you know what? Screw it. Just take the younger guy. So we talked about TJ Watt, we talked about Shedeur Sanders, and we talked about the big night out that me and my dad and over 12,000 strong at PPG Paints Arena had with Pat McAfee. I don't mean to do this, but it's just an unfortunate part of life. Going to switch it to a more somber note here. Just devastating news yesterday afternoon. Former Pittsburgh Penguins general manager Ray Shero, he passed away at the age of 62. So absolutely sucks seeing something like that. I actually got to meet Ray Shero as a kid, and let me see real quick. Pardon me for 1 second. Let me find it here. It takes me 1 second. No, that's that right here. I actually got to meet Ray Shero as a kid, and it was, at the Ice Castle arena. Not sure if y'all can see that there. That's me right there in the purple. It's Ray there standing, but just a great guy to meet as a kid. I'll remember that interaction for the rest of my life, and sucks that, at such a young age, 62, we lost one of the greatest figures in Penguins franchise history. The Penguins do not win the Stanley Cup in 2009 without him. Took care of, really was the leader of the ship during the development years of Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, the big three that I just talked about. He made franchise changing trades, 08 bringing in Marian Hossa and Pascal Dupuis, bringing in Billy Guerin the next year, traded for James Neal, who longer term, Neal was one of my favorite Penguins, but looking at that trade longer term, that turned into Patrick Hornquist, who, scored who scored the Stanley Cup winning goal in 2017. But just absolutely heartbreaking and devastating losing Ray Shero. Actual quote from the Penguins here, the statement they released. The Pittsburgh Penguins are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of former Penguins general manager Ray Shero. Ray was instrumental in ushering in a new era of Penguins hockey, highlighted by the 2009 Stanley Cup championship. We extend our deepest sympathies to his family, his sons, Chris and Kyle, and all those fortunate enough to call him a friend. Ray was admired and loved in the hockey world, and especially here in Pittsburgh. Absolutely perfectly put there by the Penguins. And just one of a kind general manager, and thankful for him being the architect of bringing a Stanley Cup championship to here in 2009. And I want to tie this back, to another Pittsburgh sports team right now, talking about Ray Shero being not afraid to take a risk in a trade and knowing when the team is, just needs a little bit of a nudge to get over that hump and be a contender. The Pittsburgh Pirates right now, they need a Ray Shero type of general manager, someone who sees the talent there and sees that, just a little something here and a little something there, and the Bucks are going to be serious postseason contenders. But just, rest in peace, Ray Shero. Heartbreaking news. Thank you for taking time to meet this kid back when he was, 9 years old. And we'll never forget it. Thank you, Ray, for all you did. You did good. Rest in peace. Switching over to some Penguins news here. Today, Mike Sullivan said that these 5 players will miss the final 3 games of the regular season. Noel Acciari, Blake Lizotte, Rutger McGroarty, Tommy Novak, and Matt Nieto. They will be out the final 3 games of the regular season. Hope for McGroarty is that he can return for Wilkes-Barre Scranton's postseason run down in the AHL. P.O. Joseph and Philip Tomasino, even though they did not practice this morning, just like those 5 who will miss the rest of the season, they have not been ruled out. They skated before practice today, so maybe they sneak in for a little cameo at the end of the season. Time will tell. To fill in the vacant holes that those 5 players left, Penguins brought up 3 forwards from the AHL, all familiar names. Emil Bemstrom back up after bouncing up and down this season. Vasily Ponomarev, believe he was up for a handful of games earlier this season. He's back up now. And of course, a player who was on the Pens last year for a good while, but I don't think we've seen him yet this year in the NHL. Valtteri Puustinen. Wouldn't be shocked if those 3 just form a whole line, but we'll have to wait and see. Lines today at Pens practice: Koivunen, Crosby, Rust. So Koivunen, for a guy who a lot of people say, thinks the game really well, like Crosby, and could be I'm not putting this branding and expectation on him to live up to this guy, but lots of people saying this could be another Jake Gensel developing. Danton Heinen, Evgeny Malkin, Ricard Raquel as the second line. Connor Dewar, Kevin Hayes, and Valtteri Puustinen as your third line. And then your fourth line, all AHL guys there, Koppinen, Ponomarev, and Bemstrom. Same defensive pairings, Matt Grzelcyk, Chris Letang, Connor Timmins, Erik Karlsson, and then the two Ryans, Ryan Graves and Ryan Shea. So Pens put 5 guys down for the season. I know McGroarty is an injury, probably got a nasty foot injury blocking that shot. As in Tommy Novak, he's been out for a while, so no shock that those two got shut down. But Blake Lizotte, maybe he's a little banged up. Same with Noel Acciari and Matt Nieto. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of the motivation behind those guys getting scratched or getting shut down for the season was just to get a look at some of the younger guys. 2 other notes this yesterday afternoon. Congratulations, Boko Imama. He was named the Penguins Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy nominee. That trophy given to a player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. So congrats to that, Boko. Also, congratulations to Penguins GM Kyle Dubas, who will be the general manager of Team Canada during the IIHF World Championship next year. I don't think that's a international tournament where professionals will be playing. That tournament's going to take place here in May and right in the middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I don't think any NHL players will be playing in that. Also from Seth Rorabaugh, Penguins assistant GM Jason Spensa, and former Penguins forward Dennis Bonvie are also part of Team Canada's executive group. So congratulations to Kyle and Spezza and Bonvie for that. Real quick before I get into some Pirate talk, let's see if anything else is happening. Just seeing a bunch more mock-ups and AI photos of Shedeur Sanders in a Steelers uniform. Yeah, not seeing much else going on. Still interesting here, says Nick Farabaugh. Pittsburgh Steelers are showing interest in quarterbacks. It's time to take it seriously. Shows a picture of Jalen Milroe. Still a little shocked that Milroe got invited to Green Bay to be at the draft in person. Somebody running that must be getting some very good information that he's going to go in the first or early second round, maybe even the first. I wouldn't be shocked now. The more I think about it, if some team trades back up, say with the last 3 picks or so in the first round and says, hey, can we swing a trade with you? We'll take Milroe just to get the 5th-year option. So with that, going to get into some Pittsburgh Pirates news. Yesterday, won 2-1 in 13 innings over the division rival Redbirds, St. Louis Cardinals. Just absolutely atrocious play on the field. It wasn't who was going to win the game, it was who was going to lose it more. So errors galore, 2 bad sends in the game from third base coaches. One that was absolutely mind-boggling from the St. Louis Cardinals. Whoever their third base coach was waving home the runner while Tommy Pham literally had the ball in his glove, threw a strike home to Joey Bart for the out. Also, the one that Mike Rebello, I believe he sent Alexander Canario home. That one wasn't much better. Saw the debut of Sung-Chae Cheng, Z, as they like to call him. He debuted, I believe was 1 for 2 on the day before he inexplicably got pinch hit for with Emmanuel Valdez. Great decision there, Derek Shelton. So he made his debut, but Mitch Keller, he also went, I believe, 7 1/3 innings pitched, only gave up 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, absolutely dealing phenomenal bounce back performance from him after getting shelled by the Yankees last week. So, yeah, Bucks get the win. Like I said earlier, I mentioned it earlier, the Roberto Clemente sign on the padding in the outfield is back. That Surfside bottle is gone. And the more I think about it, it wasn't necessarily us being up in arms that a Surfside advertisement got put there. It's more so the transparency, lack of transparency, I should say, between the Pirates and the fans, which has really been non-existent for years on end now. So glad to see that the Clemente thing's back, but putting that back, it serves a deeper purpose of just showing that this organization has no idea what they're doing off the field and that they are doing everything the wrong way. Also today, we all know that the Bucko bricks were located in Reserve Township at a recycling facility, just all thrown together. If you look at the pictures, just thrown all over the place like, rubble, like the Avengers just went there and fought Thanos or whatever. Just poor, insight by the Bucks there. And more on it is that the Bucks said they're looking for a newer, more permanent sort of rendition of the bricks, maybe like a wall or something that I thought. They saved what all the bricks said, and they're going to put them somewhere where, they are longer lasting, but, just still doesn't make up for the fact that, they didn't tell anybody that this was happening, and they didn't offer anybody the opportunity to claim their bricks, because those, some of those, most of those actually, they hold sentimental value. You got names on there of people who either have been fans of the Pirates for the longest time and they wanted to feel a part of the team, people who donated and helped build PNC Park back in the day, and especially those who got bricks for family members to commemorate their lives of being massive Pittsburgh Pirate fans, and sort of getting relatives, aunts, uncles, fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, getting them those bricks to show to honor them and pay tribute to them for maybe taking them to Pirate games back in the day and making them fall in love with the team. And I want to take this with a grain of salt, but somebody on Twitter, I believe this is a member of the Sell the Team movement at In Hot Pursuit, named Derek on X, posting, as if it wasn't bad enough, the Pirates destroyed thousands of bricks paid for by donations from fans, which the bricks are officially going to be broken up and repurposed today, or I think starting today. It was announced today, but I don't know when that exactly begins. The Sports and Exhibition Authority, owners of PNC Park, just authorized the use of taxpayer dollars, $100,000 plus to reimburse the team for the destruction of those bricks. So it seems like instead of the Bucks themselves paying to have the bricks removed, it looks like taxpayers are going to be paying for the destruction of those bricks. So if you're a taxpayer in Pittsburgh and you had a brick, turns out you're paying to destroy your own brick, if that is true. I haven't seen any, other reports from, actual journalists like Jason Mackey, Noah Hiles, Alex Strumpf, anything like that. So take that with a grain of salt. Also had something else here, some Pirate news today. Let me find it. Last bit of Pirate news today is that the Bucks did send down. Where did I see it? Come on, I had it here somewhere. Right here. So, it was announced that the Bucks sent down Thomas Harrington to AAA Indianapolis. Little bit of a pretty decent cameo for him. Got his first start in the big leagues against Tampa Bay last week, and had a phenomenal outing in relief for Carmen Baczynski. We all remember that game against the Cardinals the other day where Baczynski started it, went 5 strong, and then Harrington came in for the 4-out save. So good cameo, but now he's on his way back down to AAA, most likely to get more action down there instead of being a bullpen arm who might occasionally get thrusted in and out of the rotation. But good news, we're not calling up a Chase Shugart or anything like that, some guy that you've probably barely even heard of, and he's got an ERA of 7. Pirates are bringing back up Kyle Nicholas. Noah Hiles, the first to report this. So Kyle Nicholas, Paul Skeens, and Jared Jones's best friend. He'll rejoin the team in Cincinnati for their series opener tomorrow. And kind of like the Roberto Clemente out in right field situation, they are fixing the mistake that shouldn't have been made. We were all really confused out of our minds that Nicholas was sent down to AAA to begin the year to begin with, especially now with David Bednar and Colin Holderman not active on the team right now. Bednar down in AAA, Holderman on the IL. Kyle Nicholas, he's one of those guys who many thought that he is just a closing pitcher waiting for his opportunity to take that bull by the horns. And now he may get his opportunity. Not exactly sure what his role is going to be night in, night out. Probably will fluctuate. So you get Nicholas back up. Hopefully he continues to be one of your better relief pitchers like Dennis Santana and Ryan Barucki, who have been pleasant surprises this year. So great to see Kyle Nicholas. Can't wait to see him back up with the team. Might get some action tomorrow night. And I think he's also got a new number, 66. So let's hope that the number 66 and what that means to the big sports town of Pittsburgh. Hopefully that magic carries some magic into baseball from hockey. Also forgot to say this earlier in the stream. Happy birthday to Mel Blount, Steelers legend there. Unsure how old he turns today. We'll have to see what that is at a later time. But happy birthday, Mel Blount, nonetheless. Let's hit on some other small news details. I think I have just a one here. Joshua Palacios, fan favorite Pittsburgh Pirate, signed a minor league deal with the Chicago White Sox. Just saw today that he is getting promoted to the big league team for the White Sox. So hopefully he does well. Hold no grudges against Palacios. Hope he kills it. Five of you in here right now. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Feel free to like and share the stream and comment in the live chat, just like Shad Trader did earlier today. Taking one last stroll here through Twitter before I log off for the evening. Going to be a pretty quiet night, hopefully. No Penguins or Pirates tonight. Might watch the re-air of the Pat McAfee Big Night Out on Hulu. with behind-the-scenes footage. Also, just great, again, seeing pictures of all the, Pittsburgh sports legends you'll never see again in the same place. The big three of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang, with Ben, arguably the greatest Mount Rushmore Steeler, and then what could, when it's all said and done, be the greatest pitcher in Pirates history in Paul Skeens. Phenomenal picture there, going to be framed by a lot of people. Also, Cam Hayward and Brett Kiesel were at Big Night Out as well, backstage, getting pictures with Jelly Roll and Snoop Dogg. So, great night out for the city of Pittsburgh. Absolutely honored to be there with my dad. Had a great time. And, we'll have to wait and see if Pat McAfee does something similar to this again in Pittsburgh in the future. I'm sure he'll now do something like this, big night outs, maybe at different cities around the country. Wouldn't be surprised if his next one is in Indianapolis, and if he does some other ones in other towns that mean a lot to him. Maybe does one in Columbus, Ohio, home of AJ Hawk and whatnot. So yeah, absolutely great night. And again, like I just said, I'll say it one more time. Would appreciate it all if you stay tuned on the channel. I will be posting either later this evening or more likely early tomorrow a POV of my time at the Big Night with Pat McAfee. Again, Jey Uso came down right beside us. Absolutely insane there. You can probably hear me in the video go, oh, when I turn around and see him there. And yeah, great time. One thing I did not capture, though, that I did see was the fight in the stands. I think from what I was able to tell in the video, that was probably 2 sections over to our right. But apparently there was a big fight there. Multiple people throwing hands. So did not get to see that. I think that was towards the end of the show. But that will not be included in my video. So with that, going to call it a night on here for over an hour tonight. Thank you all very much. Covered a lot of good news. Talked about my big night out with Pat McAfee. Shedeur Sanders talking. Going to go check out what he said about the Penguins. Going to see here in a matter of moments. Shedeur Sanders talking with Ian Rappaport and company on the Insiders. But Sanders loves Pittsburgh. No Aaron Rodgers reveal at Pat's show last night. Will TJ Watt get traded or will he sign an extension? We'll have to wait and see. Pirates are going through one hell of a nightmare off the field, and RIP to the great Ray Shero. So with that, thank you all very much for joining me. Like, share, and comment this stream. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow night with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Have a great night, everyone. Peace.